Hello everybody, welcome back to the Advanced Vape channel. Today we're going to be looking at RTA that I've been really excited to talk about for a little while now. It's the Modfather Rta. It's a 30mm RTA that's in the style of the Aromomizer or the Boreas. And I've been really excited to talk about this because it's in my top 3 favorite RTAs right now. And I'll show you why as we get a little bit into it, but let me go on and introduce it. Here is the build deck is on here. It's comes out the way that it does on the Boreas, and here's the actual tank. So as you can see, very big. I'll just hold it up real quick to the engine so you can compare the size. Quite a bit bigger. This thing is huge, and it comes with a lot of different accessories and things to kind of adapt it to your own style, or I should say they're available for this tank. It doesn't come with it. So one of the things that is available for this tank is a shorty kit, and that's what I typically have on there. So I have it assembled as it comes in the box, just to show you guys, but I'm going to switch back over to the shorty kit to actually use it. That's just the way that I prefer. This thing is huge and it's just too much juice in there, and I would prefer to have it a little bit shorter, less juice capacity, and just be that little bit closer to the coils. So while I do that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the tank. It's top fill through these 2 holes here, and it's basically the same design as the Boreas and the Aromomizer, but simplified and done better, if that makes sense. There's no juice flow control, and honestly, you just don't need it. This tank just works from my experience. So no juice flow control. As you can see, it just looks very simple. There's just the airflow control, and that's it. So I'm going to go on and unscrew this top chimney section, and we'll get the shorty put on there. And when you get the shorty kit, it comes with 2 smaller glass pieces and this little chimney section. So this lowers down the size quite a bit, and the capacity to about 5 milliliters, I believe. So quite a big difference in size there. But this is the way that I prefer it. And it has the same system as the Boreas, where the juice comes through these holes along the side and kind of pools down here and comes back up through the build deck, through these holes in the bottom of the build deck. Kind of wells up from there. So I'm going to go on and set this stuff aside until later, and we'll go into the dry firing. As for the build deck, velocity style, basically the same as the Boreas. I believe there are 2.5mm holes in there, and a fairly big build deck, but not huge. Just kind of a perfect size for me. So this is a big staple build that I'm putting in there, and it fits without any issues. So we're going to go on and move into dry firing. Alright, we're looking good, and I'm going to move on to wicking. So if you've ever used the Boreas or the Aromomizer, you know that wicking is critically important on this. And it doesn't go the same route as other RTAs, where it's a less is more kind of approach. That doesn't really work with this style of RTA. I'm going to be using native wicks today. So you'll want to end up leaving the cotton legs pretty long. So right about here. And I'm going to brush them out and snip again. You want the cotton to be puffy, not packed. And now I'm just going to tuck it in there like you would with an RDA. Just fold it in there. This one I need to cut just a little bit more. So what you're really doing here is trying to lay cotton down on top of those juice inlet holes, and now I'm kind of pushing it down on top of that hole. I don't want to pack it in there, but I want it to be firmly pressed against those holes. There's a lot of cotton there, so it kind of takes quite a bit of juice to prime it. And if you'll notice, I have the coils roughly 3 millimeters up from the edge of the deck there, the same as on the Boreas. And now that I have juice on there, I'll just push it down one final time. And you can see from the bottom side here that there's cotton blocking those holes. And just like the Boreas, there's little slits here, or slots I guess would be a better word. And that makes sure that it's lined up with the airflow. So you just line up the slot and push it in there, and now it's in the base, it can't rotate. As you can see, that 30 millimeter kind of overhangs on the triad, but I think it still looks good. There's going to be a lot of mods where it has a little bit of overhang because it's so big. And now we're ready to fill. This tank holds a lot of juice even with the shorty on there, but with the full size on there, a lot of juice. Too much for me, but a lot of people like the big tank capacities. And you want to turn it upside down for the final rotation there as you're screwing it in. And then turn it right side up, and we're ready to go. So I didn't fill it up all the way, but there's juice from here all the way down and then back up. So it's a little bit deceptive as far as how much juice is in there. You can look in the glass and not see any juice, but there's actually juice down in here. So there's times when you think that you've emptied the tank out, but there's still a little bit, and you can kind of turn it upside down and see it run back up. So it's just a feel sort of thing. You have to learn how much juice or how long it takes to go through the juice that's in there to kind of figure out when you should refill it. Now I'm going to switch to temp control. Alright, let's give it a try. So I'm going to stick by me saying that this is like the Boreas or the Aromomizer, but refined, simplified, and it just works better. You put the build in there, you fire it, you wick it, you put juice in there, and that's it. You don't have to fiddle with the juice flow control. And with the Boreas and the Aromomizer, it's sort of a back and forth sort of thing to get it working just how you want it to. And it's really not like that with this. It just doesn't take long to get it working. I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and say that as of right now, this tank has the best flavor of any RTA that I've tried. So there's a lot of RTAs out right now that I really like. I like the Mage, I like the Engine, the Griffin Mini had good flavor, I like the Conqueror. There's a lot of really good flavor RTAs out there, but as far as the whole package, this thing has them beat. If you put something like a Staple or an Alien in there, like a stainless steel Staple, which is what I have in there right now, the flavor is better than anything else on the market right now, for me anyway. It feels like a dripper that's on its second vape. So not right after you refilled it, but the one right after that, which is always the best. So it's just consistently at that perfect dripper feel to it. So it feels like a dripper at its peak as far as the flavor and the performance, except that it just keeps refilling itself. So to me, I don't use drippers if I have this available. It has that same feel, and especially with the shorty on there, the little shorty adapter that I talked about, it makes that chimney just a little bit shorter, and I just prefer the capacity and the performance of the shorty better. I know a lot of people like the huge capacity of the taller glass, but I actually prefer it like this. Yeah, I really can't overstate that flavor. It's really exceptional flavor and performance out of this. If you're looking for an RTA but you're used to drippers, this would be a perfect step. It's not... it doesn't hit like an RTA, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It feels a lot like a dripper. And you can't beat the way that it's built. The threads are super smooth. Everything about this is machined really well. And it's just a simple, no frills kind of appearance, and just the way that it functions, it's perfect. I wouldn't change anything about the functioning of this tank. But there are a few cons for this tank, and it doesn't have to do with the performance or the use or anything like that. The main con for me is price and availability. This is a kind of expensive tank, around $60 to $70, somewhere around there. And it's really hard to get a hold of right now. So that kind of takes it out of the hands of most people. If they can't get a hold of it, it's not for sale, or they haven't made a new batch yet, or whatever. I've just seen online that it's pretty hard to find right now. And my second con is going to be juice consumption. That's a big deal for some people, but for me, I care about flavor, so it's not a huge con to me, but this thing does seriously blow through juice faster than most other RTAs. It will go through a full tank very quickly. And to me, that's good because that indicates it's going to have really good flavor, and it does have really good flavor. But for people that want to conserve their juice, don't want to go through it super fast, that's a big issue for this tank. For me, though, it's exactly where I want it to be. Flavor and performance are top notch. The machining, all of that stuff, excellent. But it's, like I said, it's expensive, it's hard to find, and it goes through juice really fast. If those aren't concerns for you, or if you can get a hold of one at a decent price, it's absolutely worth buying. For the people that are looking for that larger size tank, there is not a better 30 millimeter RTA on the market, period. I know there's a lot of new ones coming out that are 30 and bigger, but I would still say get this one over the ones that are coming out. Yeah, I just absolutely recommend this tank. Top to bottom, it's at the top of my list right now. And I also want to say a big thank you to James for sending this my way. At the time that he sent this, which was a few weeks ago, they were basically impossible to find, and he sent it to me, so I want to say a big thank you for that. I've been using it every day since then. So that'll bring us to the end of this real short video about the Modfather Rta. If you like this video and our channel, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or send me an email. Thanks.